Hey everyone, this is Ron with BridgeCom Systems. I am live right here at BridgeCom headquarters here in Smithville, Missouri. We're about 15 miles north of Kansas City, Missouri. And we have got a nice live show on tap for you guys today. And I've been tasked with doing the recent giveaway winner for the Smoked Ham Radio giveaway. And this was probably the biggest giveaway we've done with radios, okay? And we also coupled that and partnered with a very, very good friend of mine, Frank Cox. He owns Smoker Builder MFG out of Rolla, Missouri. And he makes some really nice smokers. They do custom smokers for all sorts of applications, catering, big restaurants, and they can do small cookers as well. But in this case, we partnered with him to offer our giveaway with his Draftmaster Ugly Drum Smoker is what it's called. So anyway, we did this giveaway and the winner was announced here. Or well, I'm going to announce it, but we did the drawing. But just to run through it real quick, the prize for this was a Draftmaster Drum Smoker. It's called Draftmaster Drum Smoker Built for You and retails for $12.99. This thing is awesome. I've actually had Frank cook up some ribs on this thing. It will hold temperature for about 12 hours and it's really nice. It's one of these set it and forget it type grills, and you can murder some barbecue because there's nothing better than barbecue and ham radio. Wouldn't you agree? And along with that, we give away a AnyTone 578 UV3 Pro valued at $400, an AnyTone 878 UV Plus at $240, a Sky Bridge like what we're talking about today, Hotspot $299, plug and play for both radios, all set up and ready to go. The USA and international code plug added, tri-band mobile antenna, BCS 200 speaker mic, extra battery belt clip, BridgeCom University subscription for both the mobile and the HT, and all the items shipped. Anyway, the total value $3,139, and the winner is Robert High, Whiskey Bravo 6 Tango Tango Sierra out of Palmdale, California. Congratulations, Robert. You are the winner. So you folks out there in California that didn't think we shipped to California, well, you got a winner here. Robert High, Whiskey Bravo 6 Tango Tango Sierra. So congratulations, Robert. So anyway, want to take another moment and do some more housekeeping and let you know about a special offer that our friends at Smoker Builder are doing from today until midnight November 1st. If you go to smokerbuildermfg.com and use promo code DMR10 10OFF, that's DMR 10 off, you'll get 10% off Draftmaster products, and that's good now. So I invite you to take a tour over to smokerbuildermfg.com after the show today and check out what they're doing down there. Great group, excuse me, great group of guys, real nice bunch of guys. And also for today only, if you order an AnyTone 878 Plus and a Sky Bridge plug and play package, we're going to give you a free Nagoya 701 antenna and a free USA and international super code plug, and that's good through midnight tonight. So add those items to your cart and a pop-up will offer you the free products. So anyway, there'll be some links to these items or these offers in the show notes. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you for being here. I'm grateful that I can, impart knowledge that we're doing here at BridgeCom. We are really excited to work with you guys, and we want you successful. We sell a lot of these radios. We talk to a lot of amateur radio folks. We talk to a lot of commercial folks, and we listen to all you guys talk about what's going on, the issues you're having, and also the successes you're having. And so we're excited to be able to do these live streams. So we hope to continue to do these every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time, BridgeCom University Live. We're going to just continue this series on working with your AnyTone radios, your Hotspots, and just taking deep dives into these products. And so today the topic is basically connecting your AnyTone 878 to a hotspot. And in this case, we're going to do it to the Sky Bridge. which is basically a hotspot. There's a lot of hotspots on the market, and they serve a lot of functions, but basically they are just gateways into the world for your radios. And in this case, the SkyBridge, we're going to be using the Pi-Star platform that sets up the configuration so that we can use the radio to talk in and out into the Brandmeister network in this case. And there's a lot of networks out there, but in this case we're going to set it up on Brandmeister. But just real quick, what the hotspot does, folks, is this thing is it's really cool. These devices came out a few years ago, and they really revolutionized what's been going on in ham radio as far as giving a guy an opportunity to talk to basically anybody all over the world. I mean, this device gives you an opportunity to talk to people in Europe, Asia, all over the United States. I mean, these guys have been doing a really cool job setting up these networks. And this little gateway here, or hotspot, is your gateway into that world. And it's a really cool trend that's going on in ham radio, and it's not dying. In fact, it's getting crazier by the day. I mean, there are a lot of people joining this, and I want to invite you to do that. And we're going to show you how to do that. But what's the first step you have to do? Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming you all got a ham radio license, but if you don't, go get licensed. It's not that big of a deal. To get your technician license, it's a test. Find a local amateur radio club, get partnered up with them, and go find out where you can take a test. But get licensed. But that's the first step. Get licensed. The second step is you want a DMR ID. Okay, you got to go to radioid.net. And submit your amateur radio credentials. And Glenn, great guy, he'll auto pop a DMR ID, which you do need in order to do all this. So that's the first step. You've got to get a DMR ID. It's a painless process. Okay, so the radio ID that we're going to use for this is my ID, and this will work for your hotspot and radio. Now keep in mind, repeaters have their own DMR ID as well, but those are reserved for system operators to get. So your DMR ID is your individual ID. Now we're gonna piggyback off what I did last week. This radio is still set up from the previous code plug I built when I was talking into repeaters. So I've got the credentials still in there, but my ID, my DMR ID is 3129172. So we're going to use that because that's what we're going to put in this hotspot. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug the hotspot in and get it booted up. Okay, and then I'm going to start finding it on the network. But in the meantime, so I'm plugging it in, powered up. I've got the antenna fixed to it. Yep, it's got power, the LED's on. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the computer and all right. And I am going to go to our website, bridgecomsystems.com. And I'm going to show you a tool that we put on our website under our resources tab. Okay, you can see where my cursor. Okay, we got this DMR call sign database, a search tool down here, along with download a code plug, amateur radio license testing resources. So there's some resources we put on the website. Okay, so you can go to our website and go down here and you can type in your call sign, in this case KC0 QVT, that's me. And I'm going to submit that. And by the way, I'm still using this tablet computer for all these live streams. Okay, so yeah, there you see your there's me. There's my call sign and my DMR ID. Okay, and that you want the digital ID there. So that's right there, 3129172. Okay, so that's the first step, and that confirms that. Okay, so just making you aware of that tool. Okay, so now that the we have a physical, I'm just going to talk to you about what's going on. We have an actual physical connection from a network switch or a router on the other side of the room going into the in this case the Sky Bridge. We're putting the network adapter in on the what would be your left side, and the power is on the right side, and we've got it booting up, and we've got the antenna fixed on it. Okay, now this is a dual band hotspot, which means it works on both 2 meter and 70 centimeter. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to prep the hotspot, but we have to find out where it's at on the network. Okay, so in order to do that, I open up a new browser window, and I want to go to I want to go to my routers page. Okay, my approach to finding the IP address of the hotspot is to go to my router. And I know my router's IP address is this 192.168.30.1. So I'm going to go to this page. I've already signed in before, so I have the password stored. So I'm in my browser and I'm going to my routers page. Now this could be different from you, but a lot of these routers, they all work pretty much the same way. So I'm going to go over here and look at status. And I want to look at my local network. Okay, and then I'm going to look at my DHCP client table. When these ship, they're set up for DHCP. Now, not to get into the weeds on all that, but basically that means it's going to go out and get an IP address from whatever it's connected to automatically. So basically connected to the internet. So I'm going to click on this client table and see what IP address is set for the Sky Bridge. And what you're going to see here is it looks like there's a desktop computer set up to this internet connect, this router, and then there's this, what I want's Pi-Star. You can see where my cursor is over it. And that's 192.168.30.17. So I want that IP address. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to close this, and I am going to paste this into a new window, and I'm going to press return so I can go and access this page. Now this is what you should see. This is a hotspot fresh off the production line. And what you're going to see here is the Pi-Star dashboard. And this is a very popular utility that's used to set up a lot of these hotspots. Now I know there's other competing products, but this is one that's extremely popular, and it does a really good job of setting up a lot of these hotspots. So what you want to do is you want to go over here to where it says configuration. Okay, and you're going to be asked for a username and a password. Now all these all start out with the username of pi-star, and the password is always raspberry, RASPBERRY, and then we're going to sign in. I don't want to save this just yet. Oops. Let's see. Pi-star RASP, I forgot the P, BERRY. All right. And I don't want to save that. Okay, now this is the configuration page, and you're going to see this when you start your initial setup. Okay, and there's just some information about the host name, the kernel, the platform, in this case the Pi0W revision 1.1, some more diagnostic information about the actual platform itself. We're not going to pay attention to that right now. You then come down here to where you've got control software. We are going to be using MMDVM host. This is a simplex node. It's not a repeater. Okay, the next step is we're going to be setting this up for DMR, because we're going to be using our 878 plus DMR HT. So the next step that you want to do is you want to basically click this to turn this on. Now you'll notice that there's other modes that can be operated on this hotspot, but we're not going to focus on those today. We're just going to do DMR. So when you swipe that to the right, you want to apply the changes. Now, before I do that, I want you to pay attention to something at the very bottom. It says MMDVM display type. and you're going to see some additional information in this, and we're going to leave that alone, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and apply these changes, and the Pi-Star is going to reboot the platform, and you can see that by looking at the screen here and the little wheel going around, letting you know that it's waiting on that. And okay, somebody, while I'm waiting on this to reboot, somebody's asked, please identify the hotspot in use: simplex, duplex, VHF, UHF. It is a dual band hotspot, meaning it's doing 70 centimeter or UHF and 2 meter or VHF. You can choose which band you want to be on, and in this case we're going to use 70 centimeter. So it is a dual band hotspot, and so we are setting that up for that. Still rebooting. This one takes a little bit longer than some, but it restarts itself, and we're going to probably restart it a couple more times as we set this up, okay? But once it's set up, it's pretty much just good to go. You can leave it basically running, you know. Now, okay, it's come back up, and it should, okay, yep. It's okay. Now we're back up. Okay, so now what that's done is that's revealed to us a area that has a little bit more information in it called general configuration. Now, this is where you start entering your unique credentials for you personally, because basically, folks, this is your railroad. You get to run it, okay, and how you want this thing to talk, your radio to talk to this. Now, we obviously want to connect this to a network, and then that's their railroad, but you're going to be basically building up this platform for your use specifically. So, all right. So what we want to do is we want to leave the host name as Pi-Star. You can change that later, but I'm not going to change that to just avoid confusion. But now you want node call sign. This is your call sign. Okay, this is how you'll be identified to the network. So I'm going to put in my call sign, which is KC0 QVT. Okay. Now the next field, I'm going to tab down. The next field is your DMR ID, and in this case I'm at 3129172. Okay. Now the radio frequency, okay, this is extremely important. This is where you want to put the, in this case, 70 centimeter frequency that you want to operate the hotspot. Now, we've had questions like, well, what frequency should I use? And the advice that we think is best is just make sure you're not offending anybody, and that you're on a repeater frequency that's in use, and that you're not in range of a repeater that's using that same frequency. And clearly you want to be away from any kind of satellite functionality, the ISS bands, or that's by the basically satellites. And we found that 446.525 is a good frequency to put in. And that's what I'm going to use right now. So I'm going to put this at 446 period 525 period 000. Okay. Now, they want to know the latitude and longitude, town, country, URL. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. Now, this is important because once you set all this up, you'll be able to identify yourself or this hotspot's location on the Brandmeister network. So if somebody were to look and see what your node is, and we'll get to that here in a moment, they'll be able to say, oh, he's in Smithville, Missouri. That's where this call is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type, because I don't have this committed to memory, but I'm going to type in Smithville, Missouri in a Google search. Smithville, Missouri, and I'm going to type in LONG for longitude and then space LAT for latitude. And this quickly pulls up your current thing for where you're located, your current coordinates. So your latitude, I'm going to put in right here. I'm going to paste. I copied it. I'm going to paste it, and my longitude is always minus, so I'm going to leave the minus there, and I'm going to paste that there. And now the town, I'm going to backspace and clean this up, and I'm going to go Smithville, MO. Country is the United States, USA. URL, I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, this is very important, this field. It's called radio modem type. Okay, the modem that we're using is a Zoom Spot dual band Raspberry Pi hat. Okay, I just happen to know that. Okay, you definitely need to find out what hotspot or what the hat that's sitting on the Pi, the Raspberry Pi computer, is. In this case, that's what it is. It's built around that technology. Okay, we want to make our node public, and we want to set the time zone for America, and the closest I've found for what we are is the Chicago, so we're in Central Time Zone. So you can see there's a bunch of different options here for setting the time, and obviously we're English US. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply these changes for just this general config, and then this is going to cause the Pi Star to reboot. And you can see by looking up at the upper portion of the screen there that it's waiting on the reboot to take place. And what's going on behind the scenes here is basically we're building up what's called an INI file for all intents and purposes. Whoops. I messed this up. Take that down a little bit. Keep bumping into that. All right. And as I stated, this one we'll probably reboot it, I think maybe one more time after I set this up, because we're going to set up the DMR configuration after this. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, throw at me. I can ask on what I've done thus far. So I got my team sending me questions, and if there's anything that you guys need clarity on while this reboots. Yeah, again, congratulations to Robert High, Whiskey Bravo 6, Tango Tango Sierra out of Palmdale, California. Won a pretty nice contest there. By the way, we have another contest going on right now called, I think it's the Buddy Pack. I think, we're giving away a nice one now. You guys hopefully put some links so you guys can enter that. Okay, we're back up. You can see that it rebooted. And just to confirm, you want to make sure that information stick. And I'm looking through the field here, and can the guys see that? My screen? Yeah, cool. All right, yeah, you can see that it all stuck. The host name, my call sign, the longitude, latitude, DMR ID. Okay, this is a very important public. Okay, now let's go down and configure the DMR ID. Or I'm sorry, where we're going to connect this to. Okay, we're going to be connecting this to Brandmeister in the United States. Now you can see anything that says BM, that's Brandmeister, and you can see these are what's called servers. Okay, these servers are all over the place. And there's also servers for other networks as well. Like you've got another network called TGIF that's out there. If you just scroll through this list, you got DMR Plus, you've got HBEA. I mean, there's a bunch of servers that you can connect your hotspot to. Crazy Horse Network, never heard of that. Ozark Digital, FDARN Network. Okay, yeah, this is an awesome, these guys are setting these servers up all over the place. And what you see here is a predetermined IP link that these guys have put in, and they're probably updating this pretty regularly. So we're going to go look for the Brandmeister servers for the United States. And they are going to be, we're interested in these three right here, Brandmeister United States 3101, 02, and 03. Now, as I understand it, these are segmented up for the United States. Like 01 is the East Coast, 02 is the Midwest, probably up to the Rocky Mountains, and then 03 is the West Coast. So we're going to go with 02. So I'm going to set that for 02. Hotspot security, I'm going to leave that alone. This is this DMR ESS ID, I'm going to leave that as none because I only have one hotspot. Now, If you get two hotspots, this becomes very important because you only get one DMR ID, or most people only have one DMR ID. But you might have two hotspots. You might have one for the car and you might have one for the house. And so, but you only have one DMR ID to identify yourself on the network. So what this extra 2-digit is allows for you to add to your DMR ID an extension, if you will, so that you can have a second hotspot affiliated with your DMR ID. And the purpose behind this is to prevent something that's called looping. It helps the network make sure that it doesn't scramble up all your calls. And it definitely knows how to route a call from the network to your hotspot. It really helps with the confusion. So if you're having confusion, make sure you're not running two hotspots without this configured. But since I'm only running one hotspot, I'm just going to leave that as none. Now, the next thing is a color code. Now, I can choose any color code I want, and this is going to be useful for the radio. So for simplicity's sake, I'm going to set it to color code 1. Okay, and this link here is going to go out, this repeater information is going to go out to a website that is the Brandmeister network, and it's going to go to the page that's going to be set up for this ID. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to apply these changes, and then I want to go ahead and I can then inspect to see if I've actually, this will then connect to the Brandmeister network, and we can verify that to see if I'm actually talking. Okay, so I've gone ahead and applied it. I am going to be restarting the hotspot again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review here while that's going on. We've got our frequency, hotspot frequency, which in this case is 446.525 megahertz, and we've got a color code of 1. Okay. Now I think by default these default to time slot 2. So we're going to check that too, but I think that's what, and I didn't see anything in there for a time slot, but I believe that, I'm sorry, time slot 2, I don't know why I put 1 there. Time slot 2, okay. So that's basically what you need from the radio's point of view to talk to the hotspot, okay. So you got your receive transmit frequency and the color code. And yeah, somebody's asked about entering your frequency on the hotspot, periods. Yeah, that's what they asked for, is put a period for your frequency. So 446 period 525 period 000. And somebody's also asked, what if you have two hotspots? Does each need their own EESID? Yeah, you would arbitrarily select that. So like for example, mine would be 312-9172-01. And then 312-917-02 is what I could set it as, okay, so that I can differentiate that, and that's what that ESSID field is. Okay, so I'm rebooted, and what I can now do is I can go out and look on, I can go to Brandmeister network. I've already entered it in before, so I'm going to go to brandmeister.network, and I am going to see if my hotspot is connected. So this is where you find out whether or not you actually are on the network. Okay, and you can see over here there's a bunch of fields. You got user dashboard, last heard, repeaters. I'm interested in this area called hotspots, and it says here there's 15,558 hotspots currently on the network. So I'm going to click that, and that's going to pull up an area where I can check my search. So you can actually search by call sign. So I'm going to type in my call sign, which is, I'm going to start out with KC0 QVT. And this does take a bit of time, it seems, to search for. In fact, it's already started searching, because what happens sometimes, it looks like the website sometimes goes dormant. It takes a little bit. It might actually say it'll time out, but it's actually searching. And hopefully it'll find it. And that'll be a good sign that we've tunneled in and Now we're available. Okay, yeah, page is unresponsive. I'm going to wait. And another thing you can do, if you want to wait, you can go over here to you can go back up to the configuration page and you can click on dashboard, okay, and that pulls up another screen, okay, and what you can see over here is if these fields, DMR, DMRnet, and all that are green, you can see that when it's green, that means you're golden. When those are green, you're golden. So this tells you, like, okay, I've got my frequencies there, I've got my repeater ID, my DMR ID, my color code, and yes, I am on time slot 2, which is something I was want to make sure so I know that I'm good. And now, okay, now I clicked over back to the hotspot. Okay, it found me. All right. So I am on the network. So now that my hotspot's set up on the network, I know that this thing can receive traffic to and from the network. So now what I need to do is I need to start working on my radio. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. I have not touched this since last week's live stream, so all the stuff that's in there is still there. So we know repeater frequency 446.525, color code of 1, time slot 2. That's very important. You've got to use that because we're going to build a code plug, or we're going to add to the code plug that I just built. So I am going to, got my radio on. Okay, it still has the Kansas City zone in it. And I'm going to securely fasten that into the programming port. And I'm going to close this browser out, just shrink it, that is, and I am going to right click to bring up. I want to run this as administrator. I've not updated the firmware on the radio. We're still running 1.19. I'm still running 1.19 CPS. It's, for all intents and purposes, it satisfies the point of this demonstration, and in the future we'll do more live streams where we work on more of that, the updating. Okay, so it populates with just some generic stuff. I want to read. I believe everything should be still in good order. I'm going to read from the radio. I don't have a digital contact list yet, so I'm going to do other data. And by the way, this program doesn't look like it. My cursor, that you see there, is following me in this program for whatever reason. Okay, so I set up 4 talk groups. I had KC Worldwide, KCI Parrot, KCI Texas, KCI Disconnect. Okay. These talk groups can still be used, but they were exclusive to that talk, KCI repeater, but I'm going to remove that because that could be confusing. I'm going to take away KCI because these talk groups are usable on any network, okay? So they're not exclusive to KCI, so I probably made a mistake in identifying those. Because worldwide, you can talk through the hotspot on worldwide. You don't have to just exclusively, they're not exclusive to a particular platform or repeater. Okay, so I am going to remove that, and I'm also going to add another one. Actually, I'm going to take away the time slot 1 because this is just disconnect. Okay, it's just a talk group, so it's agnostic to the it's agnostic to the whether you're going through a repeater or a hotspot. So I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, so we have 4 talk groups. You can see I modified the alpha tags. All right, now that I've modified the alpha tags, I want to create some channels for my hotspot. Okay, now here's the list of channels that I currently have, and I'm going to leave those alone. But now I want to create, I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't bust into it. I'm going to create some SkyBridge channels. So I'm going to call the first channel SkyBridge Parrot. If I can get all that in here. Yeah, okay, and the transmit and receive frequency is 446, dot 525. Oops, 525 tab 446.525. Okay, and it's digital. I want to change my power to low. TX permit always. That's fine for now. DMR mode simplex, and let's do the parrot. It's a private call. Color code 1. Next field. Right there. Color code's 1. My radio ID is me. Time slot's 2, remember? Okay. Not interested in encryption and all the analog stuff, so there's a channel. Skybridge Parrot. Okay, now I want to copy that, and I want to paste it because I'm going to make 4 more. I want to do paste, paste. So I'm going to change the next one to the worldwide talk group. Still the same color code. Oh, looks like it. Just Skybridge worldwide. Okay. Color code 1, time slot 2. Oh, I guess it doesn't like that. I don't know why. It doesn't like the S. I'll fix that. Okay, and then I've got the next one. I'm going to change to Texas. Okay, time slot 2, color code 1, and I'm going to change the alpha tag to Texas. I hope you guys can get the hang of this. Oops, I shouldn't have deleted all that. Let's see, Skybridge, BRIDG, Texas. Perfect. 0, or okay, and then the next one, we're going to set up the disconnect. Always want to disconnect because it's going to free up the resources. You still have to free up the hotspot. So this is going to be disconnect. And I'll put the S here. And we want to change the contact, which in this case is disconnect. Okay. All right. So I've added 4 more channels to the CPS. So we're building up a code plug, okay? And the hotspot's just sitting there waiting for us to talk through it. So the next step is we got to create a zone, okay? Because this zone's unique. So we have right now a KCI repeater zone, and we can click on that and to confirm, okay? And we've got these 4 channels now, but we don't want to throw them in there. We want to create a new zone. So we're going to call this the Skybridge zone. Skybridge zone. And then we are going to we've got access to 8 channels. We're going to put all these in the zone. All right. Okay. So I am okay with that. And I'm going to write this to the radio. All right. It's writing to the radio. PCI. Okay. The moment of truth. It's booting. I'll go ahead and unplug it from the computer. All right. Okay. You're going to see here that your radio is defaulting to a zone that you put in there. In this case, KCI, time slot 1, it's the repeater zone. Okay, so in order to change zones, I just press down this up and down button. So that went to the Skybridge zone. It's on the top. So that's the parrot. So we're going to find out if I know what I'm talking about here in a second. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the parrot. All right. And I should hear my nice talk permit tone, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys hear it with the microphone. KC0QVT testing the parrot. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT testing the parrot. KC0QVT.
That's it. We know now that I talked on the Brandmeister server. I've gone through my hotspot. The radio's all good. I'm on color code 1, time slot 2, 446.525. Now, the dashboard Well, let's just go ahead and see if we can make a QSO with somebody. Okay, I'm going to try Texas. Let's just see, because let's see what we've got here. This is KC0QVT monitoring Texas statewide. Anybody copy? And while that's sitting,
KG5 WTR.
Okay. I think he said KC5WTR. Yeah, you can go and look on your hotspot. KG5WTR. Hey, this is Ron, KC0QVT, Smithville, Missouri. How you doing today? Yeah, your hotspot, by the
I'm
way.
doing okay. Just sitting here, kind of reading the Kindle and listening to the radio and see if we're going to get warm here. Over in El Paso, Texas, we had the day before yesterday, we had 89, 90 degrees, and the next day we had snow.
Well, that sounds odd for El Paso. It sounds like Missouri weather. Yeah, the other day we were at 80 degrees, and then the next day it was snowing. So, yeah, what's going on in El Paso?
Well, right now we got 42, the sun's shining, so it's kind of nice. So just taking it easy today. Going to read my Kindle a little bit, and then maybe a little bit later today, go watch a little TV. Kind of just taking it easy over here.
Well, it sounds like you got it together. Well, listen, my name's Ron, KC0QVT. I'll be clear on your final, but I do appreciate the comeback. And you have a great day, and thanks for the update. And have a great afternoon in El Paso, Texas. God bless.
Yeah, you take care there. You stay up there, Ron, and have a good day. And maybe I usually kind of monitor here on and off. I got my other 2 meter on and the HF on. So 3 videos and listen to and read it in Kindle. So kind of keep the brain circulating a little bit. Okay, you have a good day. KG5WTR.
Yeah. There you go, folks. I mean, I just made a new friend, and it's awesome what these things can do. Oops. They're probably going to keep talking. But anyway, what I can do now at this point is I can go to...
Good morning, Cliff. Almost happy. Well,
I can go to the disconnect, okay, and I can try and butt in here, and it won't mess up these guys, but it'll allow for me to... Hopefully I'll get a disconnect. It might not... If there's activity on the channel, you've got to be able to wait for it to clear out, okay? And as I can see, these guys are on there. Let's see. Yeah, so they're still talking. And that is, being able to disconnect, you have to have a break in the action. So I'll demonstrate that here in a moment. But yeah, there's some activity going on there. All right. Well, good. Anyway, and also let me just jump you in back into the computer real quick, because you can go to your dashboard, and you can actually get some intelligence about what in the world's going on your hotspot. And so you can clearly see, you get some feedback here. You can see that these folks are talking back and forth, and it gives you some real-time data as to the nature of what's happening. And so that's some good metrics for you to, you can check out. But I'm going to turn that down just a touch. There we go. Okay. But, I mean, that's it. We did it. We built a code plug from scratch, or we're adding on to the one we've done, but we've put a repeater in there. We've added a hotspot. We set up the hotspot. I mean, I've got the whole world opened up to me right now. I can tell this thing to talk on any kind of talk groups that I have available, and on this particular network. And as you can tell, it's Texas is busy. Okay, somebody's asked. Let me go ahead and pull that back up. Once the hotspot is all set and working, can it be powered off when not being used? Yes, you can power it off and it should come back up and remember everything you put in it. Okay, it should go back and reestablish connection to the server that you had set it up for. That is stored in there. Another guy is asking, do I need a Brandmeister password? No, you do not. I've not set up a password on their network at all. Ron, please show how to connect a 578 to the hotspot. It's not much different than the 878. In fact, it's practically the same. I'll probably do that on another live stream. I don't have one handy right now. Okay, somebody's asked, is your contact on another type of radio? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't have a clue what he's talking to me on. It's obviously a DMR radio, but if he's going through a hotspot or a repeater, I don't know. He's talking out of that thing right there. So, but he's in Texas, so yeah. So let me real quick. Let me review for what's going on here. You got to get a DMR ID. First step. DMR ID. Go talk to radioid.net. Get a hold of Glenn. Get you a DMR ID after your ham radio license, and that's your starting point. Once you get that, then you can get you a hotspot and a DMR radio. But in this case, we programmed up this hotspot for 446.525. Again, we chose that frequency because it was available. I mean, it's a popular hotspot frequency. So, but keep in mind, there might be a repeater on that, so you want to be mindful of the airwaves. Color code of 1, that was arbitrarily chosen. You could choose any color code. I think it's from 1 to 16. Time slot, they default to time slot 2. And you set all that up in your setup screen. So yeah, this is going to be recorded so you guys can go back and watch this, but I'm pretty much done. I've got this set up, and I'm open to any questions that you guys might have about what's going on. Okay,
yeah.
Looks like these guys are still going. That's awesome. And by the way, on this hotspot, we've got a display on ours. Now it's going to be difficult for me to pull this up probably, but you can actually get some intelligence of what's going on. Oh, I bet I think I screwed it up. I was trying to pull that up. I think I unplugged it. That's not good. Yeah, I unplugged it. Yeah. Oh well, we got the bulk of it done. I'm glad I didn't do that during the training. But yeah.
Ronnie, you want to go ahead and ask everybody that there's a question open if they want to mention what subjects they want to cover in the future?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to let you guys know what I'm going to be talking about next week, okay, because I want to do these every week, is I'm going to walk you through two things. We're going to do a firmware update on the radio, and then we are going to import a contact list from radioid.net. We're going to extract a contact list, and I'm going to explain that real quick. The contact list is basically everybody out there that's got a DMR ID. Okay, everybody that's got a DMR ID, there's intelligence associated with that, like your call sign, your name, and I think that's about it. I don't know if location's in that or not. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take that massive database, okay, and we're going to import that and put it in one of these radios. So that what that means is that when somebody contacts you, if it's up to date, you won't see this undiscernible number pop up on the screen. It's going to say, that's Ron. I'm going to put Ron KC0QVT on the radio so that I know that he's there, okay? So we're going to do two things. We're going to update the firmware, and we're going to import a contact list, okay? Okay, and that should do it for this live stream. As far as the training, I'm going to answer some questions. A few more have come in. Somebody's asked, what's the difference between the C-bridged or the DMR mark and Brandmeister? Okay, let me see if I can. Brandmeister is a massive network built around a bunch of servers that are set up geographically all over the place. DMR Mark, they are a website built around a technology. C-Bridge, we call ours TLNet. And what that does is where you can, these ham clubs can create more of a private network. The system operators can have a lot more control over their repeaters, but they're built around Moto Turbo repeaters running IP Site Connect. So, I mean, DMR Mark stands for Motorola Amateur Radio Club. So it was intended to be used for Moto Turbo repeaters running IP Site Connect. I'm really not certain what's going on in that space right now as far as that goes with respect to marrying DMR Mark or C-Bridge contacts with Brandmeister. I've heard some stuff about homebrew protocol, and I just don't know that stuff right yet. I'm still working on that. Somebody's asked, will you do a DMR to YSF? YSF stands for Yaesu System Fusion video. We could try that, certainly. I know that the SkyBridge will do YSF. That's in the setup. But let me go ahead and close things out, folks. Again, we're doing we got another giveaway called the Double Trouble giveaway. You can find the link in the giveaway tab on our website. We also have something brewing this weekend. I want you to keep an eye on your inbox or your Facebook feed. We are going to do a special announcement on Friday. So keep your ears open. Our friends at smokerbuildermfg.com is running a nice promo for until Sunday, November 1st. 10% off. There's a code DMR10OFF, DMR10 off to get 10% off DraftMaster products. And we're also running a daily special today where if you order an 878 Plus, a SkyBridge plug and play package, you get a free Nagoya 701 and the free USA International Supercode plug. Okay, what that means is, okay, it's all built for you. You just turn on the radio. It's all built for you got to have your DMR ID and your amateur radio call sign. That's all we need. And it'll all be done for you. I mean, there's nothing better than having this thing turned on and you've got success right out the gate. Just plug it into your internet and within a couple minutes, you've opened up the entire world. I mean, ham radio should be fun. You know, we're meeting a lot of new folks with this, and it's a way for you guys to meet a lot of people. And it really helps reinvigorate ham radio for a lot of people. I mean, it's this thing, these hotspots and these DMR repeaters and all these networks, they're just blowing up everywhere. I mean, I can't believe how many people are getting on this because it's so lively. There's, people. It's like I've heard a lot of people say, the repeaters are always dead. I can't ever. There's nobody ever on them. Well, this solves that problem. These are never dead. There's always somebody on these things. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I just met a guy here just a moment ago, Whiskey 5 TWR. I don't, John. So, and one of the things you can do is you can exchange your QSL cards with folks and get to meet them. We're doing some of that here. But it's really created a lot of excitement for us hams to enjoy ham radio in a whole new way. And it is ham radio. I mean, you're dealing with an RF connection. It's just one facet of a really cool sport that we're in. And definitely check it out. But this hotspot, your DMR radio, opens up the whole world. But with that, we'll be monitoring the thread, but I invite you guys to ask questions. But stay tuned for next week's live stream, same time, 11 a.m. Wednesday. We're going to be doing updating the contact list and the firmware on your 878. 73.